Okay, so today I'm going to be doing a very requested video. So this video is going to be information on how I did sleep training with Paxton, and definitely this is a disclaimer, it's not for everyone, and I'm sure that some people will eat me alive, some people will say I'm a bad mom, some people will say that's horrible to do to your child, and this is kind of just to tell you guys that this is just what works for me. You don't have to do it, you don't have to change your ways, don't think what you're doing is bad or what I'm doing is bad. It's just different. Every child's different, things work for different children, and this is just what worked for me and my son and our family. So we did the Ferber method, and if you don't know what that is, it's founded by a pediatrician named Richard Ferber, and he is the founder and former director of the Center of Pediatric Sleep Problems at the Children's Hospital in Boston. So he is the founder and the former director of the center. This is his way of sleep training, and I'm sure you've maybe heard of it, and there's some myths that people think that about this is just like the cried out method, and he never says this is cried out. You're not just putting him to bed and saying night and never coming back. If he cries, even Richard Ferber says that it's a gradual process. It could take a few days, it could take a few weeks. I'm not gonna lie, it didn't take me a week, it didn't take me 2 weeks. It probably took me about 3 weeks. And then when I talked to my doctor, because before I even decided this, I knew he was ready for it because he was 7 months old. My son co-slept with me in the Arms Reach co-sleeper. I will have a link down below on a review that I did for that. I love that. And he slept in that until he was about 7 months, and then I transitioned him into a crib. So I knew he was perfectly ready to start sleep training, and he didn't need to be nursed that night, but I was nursing him at night. And it was getting to the point where he was like routine. Like, okay, 3 o'clock came, he'd cry. 5 o'clock came, he'd cry. Because I would get up, and as soon as he'd whimper, I would nurse him. And then after I talked to my doctor, and my doctor said, he's old enough now, he does not need to be nursed during the middle of the night. I think that was like 8 months that I did that. He doesn't need to be nursed in the middle of the night. He's getting up as a habit now. And I totally see that. Even now, if he cries and I go in once, it's like at 3 o'clock, it's like every day is like 3 o'clock. So once I redo this, the sleep training, then he goes back to his normal schedule of sleeping completely through the night. My son goes to bed at 7 o'clock and he wakes up around 6:30. Now, Richard Ferber says that sleep training should start between 3 to 5 months. I waited until Paxton was 7 months, so I knew he was definitely ready. And I didn't want to wait too long because I didn't want to be harder on me and Paxton with him really knowing the separation that I'm leaving him. So I started at 7 months, and I think that was a decent time. I actually wish I started at 6 months and just got a head start on it, but I waited until 7 months, and then I started really doing the sleep training. Ferber does say he encourages doing a warm bedtime ritual, which we do. I rock him, I nurse him, I don't nurse him to sleep, and I lay him down and I say, time for night night, and I lay him down on his belly because he's old enough to sleep on his belly now, and he will look at me. I leave the room and he goes to sleep until morning time. And Richard Ferber also says, when there will be times when your child's sick, when your child's teething, to be lenient on that time, don't be super strict about it. They're babies, you still want to be loving. When Paxton's teething, like recently he's been teething and waking up around 3 o'clock. So I'll come in, I'll say, it's okay, it's okay. I'll pat his back and I walk out. And he's been doing really, really well with it. And this just really seems to work with him. This whole thing is an increased waiting time. Richard Ferber says that this gives your child the opportunity to soothe themselves. If you just walk in and your child's crying, right away, that's what I used to do. I didn't even let him soothe. I would just pick him up, okay, I need to nurse him. And I wouldn't even give him the chance to be able to fall asleep on his own. And that's what this is. You want your child to be able to fall asleep on their own. They're going to learn to fall asleep on their own. They're going to cry for a little while. I think when I started, and you don't have to do completely the Ferber method. You can, and he even says, you can twist it a little bit however you're comfortable. So I started out with 5 minutes, and then I did 2. So 5, 7 minutes, and then 10 minutes. So I just added 2 minutes, and I did that for the whole night. So 5 minutes he would cry, I'd come in, and do not pick them up. It's really important that you don't pick them up. After 5 minutes he'll cry, and now he doesn't even cry to go to sleep, he just goes to bed fine. But I will say after 5 minutes of crying, I would go in, I'd say, all right, Paxton, time for night night, and I'd reassure him that I'm still here, that I didn't abandon him or anything, that I'm still here, that he's just learning to put himself to sleep. So for 5 minutes, I'd let him cry, I'd come in, pat his back, I'd walk out, I'd let him cry for 7 minutes. And this is hard. It's not easy. It's not easy hearing your child cry. But then after a few times, you know they're fine. And you're also doing it to reassure yourself that they're okay. So after 7 minutes, I'd go in, pat his back, Paxton, you're okay. He's all right. Time for night night. I'd go out, wait 10 minutes. And usually, I think I've probably had to go in like the third time, only a few amount of times, because he usually goes to bed at the second time for night night. So I'm really thankful for that. And I've never done like start with 20 minutes. Like I've never done that. I've just always basically did like 10, 12, 13, 14 or something like that, because that's just what I was comfortable with. So it's whatever you're comfortable with. You can kind of make it however you feel comfortable doing. And I will leave a link down below with where I got this information. Rumors that people think that when you say the Ferber method, people are like, oh my God, cry it out, you're a horrible mom. There's rumors that people think when they hear that what this is, and then there's what he actually says. So I will leave a link down below, and you guys can check it out for yourself and just show, just let you guys know what it really is about. And even Ferber says, like, it's not going to be quick, it's not going to be easy, it's a process, and the main thing is to stay on top of it. Like, don't, one day do it strictly, and the next day let it fall. They can totally do it. They are capable. You just have to give them the opportunity to, and they have to learn that. That's not just a thing that comes out of nowhere. It's a learned behavior. When you don't have an alarm clock set and you always wake up at 7 o'clock, and even before your alarm clock gets up, it's like 7 o'clock, you're up, because it's like a mental alarm in your head. So that's kind of like what they're having. They're used to getting up at 3 o'clock, so they're going to continue getting up at 3 o'clock because you're going to be there. And the reason that the Ferber method is so controversial is because some people say it's horrible to abandon your child, but you're not doing that. You're doing a method where you're reassuring your child that you will be back and that you're not just disappearing. So that's why the gradual time is so important. So the first day you would keep doing the 5, 7, 10 minutes, whatever you want to do, and then you do that the whole time. So 5, 7, 10, and then say they don't fall asleep. So 5, 7, 10, say you did. After the third one, if they're still not asleep, you go back to 5, 5, 7, 10, not asleep, go back to 5. And it could take you all night, but it's never happened to me. Paxton's always going to sleep after like the second one. So I'm really lucky. But again, this might not work for you. Doesn't work for everyone, and he even says it's not for everyone. The next day you might go to 7, 9, 12, 7, 9, 12, 7, 9, 12 throughout the night. And then the next day you'd go 9, 11, 14. So you're gradually making the time of you re-entering the room longer, if that makes any sense. And he says, can you modify the method? Of course, modify it to however you feel comfortable with doing. It is supposed to be like a 7-day program. I didn't really do that. I kind of just, he said you could do like a 14-day program, whatever you're comfortable with. I really didn't extend the time super long where it'd be 20 minutes in the beginning. I usually just stuck with 7, 9, 10, or 7, 9, 12 or something like that. He got it really easily after I realized that I need to stop nursing him, because my doctor did say he doesn't need to eat at night. Stop feeding him. He's doing the mental alarm where you're coming to nurse him. So as soon as I stopped nursing him at night, because he didn't need it anymore, I already talked to my pediatrician, everything. He did not need that feeding. He got it. He knew, like the first night, he cried. The second night, he totally realized, like, Mommy's not coming in to feed me. He slept completely through the night until he started teeth just this week, and now he's waking up at like 3 o'clock. But I'm being lenient towards him, and I'm just like, say it's okay, it's okay. I hope this was helpful to you guys. Again, this is not for everybody. It's just what worked for our family, and you can look it up. I'll put the link down below, and I'll try to find another link of showing you exactly what you're supposed to do, like the times and everything. But again, you can modify it to however you feel comfortable with doing. But I hope you guys liked this video. Thumbs up if you did. Subscribe if you haven't already for my daily vlogs that I put up every single day. And again, this is not to tell anybody that their way is the wrong way, that my way is the right way. This is just what I do because it was really highly requested to do this video. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!